Hello, everyone. Today we are going to do a webinar which is based on a very serious concern, violence, which everyone of us listen in the news. We hear about them all around the world, and since we are affected with this, we know that children also know about these things, and since they are very young to understand what happens around themselves or what is happening in the world, it seriously impacts how they perceive things around them. So, yes, today the topic is how we can help children to cope with violence around them. So, yeah, hardly a day goes by when we don't read or hear about a violent act or tragedy involving children in our community or across the country. Some tragedies are unintentional and unpredictable, such as traffic accidents or natural disasters. Others are more kind of intentional and sometimes premeditated, such as fights, muggings, shootings, murders, or terrorist attacks. Many children and teens are also exposed to violence within their schools and neighborhoods, and even within in their own homes. So the common causes are child abuse, whether it can be physical, mental, or sexual, witnessing, even witnessing or being a victim of violence, neglect, substance misuse, or bullying in the school, war in the country, terrorism, medical trauma, mental illness, separation from parents or any loved ones. So all these things have a very deep impact on the children, on how how they perceive things around them, because these are life goes they need to understand that life is not all about positivity. So there are few things which come in life that are not that happy, and learning, they have in that age they have to learn that how those negative things can be managed. In this slide, you can see a picture which is drawn by a child, and we can see that there is a figure which is underlined as dad, and it is holding a weapon, gun, and it is pointing towards mom, and and there in the close to the leg, you can see this written blood, and the child is standing, and it is written as me, and it has tears on the face and all about sadness and fear. Um, yes, and this weapon was my dad, and it's saying that his dad is was holding this weapon, and yes, so there's a lot of blood on the picture, and if I am a teacher and any of my the children in the care draws this, and it means something really strong is happening in their house, and it is a big alert for the teacher that that child is being exposed to so intense violence. So these kind of exposures have a long term risk, which leads to different problems like behavioral, psychological, or physical problems. They sometimes have academic failure, alcoholic and substance use, delinquent acts, adult criminality. So basically, all the things which they are exposed to, whether it is positivity or it's negativity, so that goes to their later life. So if a child is having a very positive childhood where his needs are met, the child has a loving and caring atmosphere, so the child would have perceived that the world is very positive. But when a child in its formative years is exposed to violence and lives in a life of fear, danger, being scared, so yes, that's definitely be affecting their later life because they perceive that how the things go around them. So basically, this affects their perception of reality of this world. It also wires their brain to expect danger. So yeah, so they these kind of violence, they it takes away their sense of safety. So they're always in their brain is expecting danger, so which triggers uh, fight, fright, or freeze response. So yeah, though they don't feel safe in any new place. They have difficulty creating relationship with people. Yes, so yeah, which sometimes results in serious behavior problems in children. Yeah, so yeah, and it also increases stress hormones flowing through the body and affect their growth actually. In this slide, you can see how the initial trauma of a young child may go underground, but it will return to haunt us. So sometimes we feel that the child have gone through a thing and it's over, but it's not truth. But because they perceive things inside them, and it comes out in their later life. uh, and it's true, like I have experienced I was not a child, I was quite you can say teenager. I knew how my rights were and I could speak up things, but still there was a lot going because I was living with my uncle, so there was a lot going over there. I couldn't say anything because it was all about relatives, and uh, you know, uh, when you're living with someone else, you owe them. Um, yeah, so, but in my later life, I used to get panic attacks, uh, even without any reason. So that thing came out in my later life, and it happens a lot with children. So yes, in this picture, we can see that there are three different areas of the brain which functions for different things. So our prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking center, when we are exposed to a trauma or a stress or a violence, it gets underactivated. So it causes difficulty in concentrating and learning. So if a child is not able to concentrate on in the classroom or in their different tasks, so that doesn't mean that they're not interested in doing things or they're not capable of doing things. Sometimes there is something else that is going around in their mind, and that is inhibiting them to work or function properly. So amygdala, which is called the fear center, it gets overactivated when a child is exposed to trauma. So they feel difficulty feeling safe, calming down themselves or sleeping. And anterior cingulate cortex ACC, which is our emotion regulation center, and during a stressful situation or traumatized situation, it gets underactivated. So yeah, so someone exposed to very harsh situations and traumatic situations, they feel difficulties with managing their emotions. They are not able to respond properly how they need um, to manage this emotional thing. Yeah, so there's a lot going on in their brains. So everything, it gets in a shutdown mode. So they are not able to realize how things are going on. In this slide, we can see how the percentage of children who experience violent discipline at home in different countries. So this is so strange that how such the number of these um, data and percentage is so high in these countries. So it ranges from 60 to 90%. So yeah, this is really strange. And yeah, when parents think that they need to discipline their children with their violent behavior, by just yelling at them, by being angry, and they start torturing their children so that they can so that their children listen to them and they stay in a disciplined culture. But sometimes these violent discipline techniques, they turn out very difficult for children. Now let's have a look at how we can take some steps to help our children to manage distress. So yeah, uh, being a parent, we can help our children by looking at what they do, and by talking with the children frequently, how taking talking to the children about their worries and concerns. And this can be our first step to help them feel safe and being able to cope with the events occurring around them. So we can talk, according to their age, whenever they're comfortable to do that. So yes, so listen what if they have any misperceptions or misinformation, and just gently correcting them, and reinforcing ideas of safety and security. If like so that they need to know that how if they're at home or school, how they can keep themselves safe, comfort, and support themselves. Next thing we can do is keep our home a safe place. So yes, children, regardless of their age, often find home to be a safe haven when the world around them becomes very overwhelming. During times of crisis, it is important to remember that your children may come home seeking the safe feeling they have being there. Help make it a place where your children find the peace or comfort they need. Consider planning a night where everyone participates in a favorite family activity so that everyone can bond with each other. Parents should watch for signs of stress, fear, or anxiety. So, for example, after a traumatic event, it is typical for children to experience a wide range of emotions, including fearfulness, shock, anger, grief, anxiety. So, yeah, so your children's behavior may change because of their response to the event. They may experience trouble sleeping, difficulty with concentrating on schoolwork, or home responsibilities, changes in appetite, changes in mood. So, yes, this is normal for everyone, and may disappear. And after a while, encourage your children to put their feelings into words by talking about them, and expressing themselves by just by writing, painting, telling stories, so that they can express what they are going through. Um, Also, we need to monitor adult conversations. Sometimes we need to be aware that our children may also be listening what we are conversing with other adults. So if they do not understand, they sometimes fill in the gaps, which can increase anxiety. We need to check in often. Be sure to check in regularly with your children as you monitor their copying. Provide some extra time, attention, and patience. Um, And we also need to model them how to manage traumatic events. So sometimes um, we don't need to, collapse for exhaustion. We need to show them, model them how, even if some any traumatic event comes in the family, so we do not need to um, be very, what we can say, exhaustive, or we need to tell them how we can settle everything up and manage them. Also, we also need to understand that help is available. So if we feel that we are being stuck, or we are so overwhelmed that we cannot handle a situation, we should know that taking a professional help is also good. So we can go to the doctor, we can take our kids to the doctor, psychologists, or anything which we feel that might help. We should be open to taking those kind of helps. In this picture, you can see that sometimes there are a few things that happen around them in our classroom. Uh, for example, in this picture, you can see that a 5-year-old boy is refusing to walk down the stairs with class, going to a normal routine. Um, so this might sometime we perceive it as a behavior problem, but instead of considering it a behavior problem and getting frustrated on this child, uh, being a teacher, we should we should know that, what is the reason behind this behaviors. Maybe there is a chronic neglect going on. Maybe there are the child is expressing need for control through challenging behaviors. So there was a child in my classroom who was going through a bit in the house. It was some like divorce, getting into the parents. So yeah, the child was showing the need to the helplessness to the control over the things. So what we can do as a teacher, so yes, getting them, giving them as much as control possible, giving them choices for what they can do, like during lunchtime, which chair would you like to sit, would you like to have chocolate milk or regular milk? Giving them choices, give them freedom that they can choose around, or according to their choice. If yeah, so what would you like to do? Where would you like to sit in the group time? But these kind of things give them a sense of control and feel them more safe, kind of. Our next question can be, can schools provide a safe haven for children who are hurt and neglected at home? Yes, of course. We as teachers have a very deep impact on how children around us they how do they perceive things. So we are children stay with us for so long time. They are almost full day with their teachers. So yes, how we can definitely be a change. Um, so yeah, um, I think human love can heal everything. If a child has been through a lot and has come through different, different environments or different things, but if even if it has any behavior problem, love can change anything, and giving them a sense of connectedness, a sense of belonging in the classroom, giving them all the care and nurture, meeting their needs and appreciating their interests, everything. These things can definitely make a change, and we as teachers, we need to be very alert and sensitive to the things going around the child. And in terms of physical abuse or any even if it's about emotional abuse, we need to be very alert if anything is going around the child. If the child has some marks on the body, if child says anything which feel that is a red alert, that a child of this age should not be knowing this kind of stuff, so you should be very alert and report um, any suspicious activity to the Children Aid Society. It's our responsibility to report everything if you suspect that anything is happening to the child. And other than reporting, we also have to be very positive of that healing process, which comes after that violence or abuse from the child. Sometimes it can be very hard for a teacher to cope with everything, because children cannot express with their words. They they sometimes show a lot of behaviors. Even if you try to connect with them, they make it difficult to connect with teachers. But yes, it is an ongoing process where you have to keep on trying, and so that the children can come close to you, feel safe with you, and share their emotions with you. So that would definitely be a great help for the child to maybe sink everything in and start a new journey in the life. So yes, teachers have to be very you can say cautious about everything going around the child. That's all for today, and thank you so much for watching this webinar, and I hope that this was informative for everyone. And yeah, thank you.